Okay, so this, like the handout with the sphere, it's just for you to reference from when you're drawing future cylinders and you kind of need a reminder of how light a shadow wrap around a cylinder. Okay, so notice that with a sphere, the curvature of the sphere has the light wrap around it a certain way. It goes from light to dark slowly, and then there's a little bit of light at the edge. So same with a cylinder. With a cylinder, we have a flat top and we have a flat bottom underneath here, right? We have two circular faces that are flat, and then this here is rounded on a cylinder. So again, this is a horrible photocopy, but we're gonna try our best to point out where we see the different parts. Okay, so with the cylinder here, first clue to where the light source is the shadow, because the shadow is back here, the cast shadow, and the core shadow is on this side. We can guess that the light is coming at this object. I'm gonna make a sun over here. You could do this for yourself as well. Okay, just remember the light source is coming from this angle here, and this white area here, or next to white area here, okay, this is our highlight. So I'm just going to put an HL because I can't fit highlight here, but just to remind myself, this area is the highlight. Okay, the highlight slowly moves into a middle gray in this area. Okay, this whole middle area is like a medium gray. It goes from white highlight to this medium gray. This here would be our midtone. Actually, I'm just going to put it up here. Okay, so we could put MT here for midtone. And then this really dark part here, I'll just draw an arrow to it. Okay, this is our core shadow. This part here, that's really dark. And again, it's super hard to see on this photocopy, but if you look really closely, do you see that the core shadow gets a little lighter, just like a little lighter, moving away towards the edge, okay? So you've got some reflected light here and behind. It's just really hard to see because it's not the best photocopy, okay? But it gets a teeny bit lighter in value. So it goes core shadow and a little bit lighter. Okay, and then of course, this is your cast shadow on the ground. So understanding how light wraps around a cylinder, it's very similar to the sphere because it's a rounded surface. So it goes from super bright to where the light's shining, and then it like slowly gets darker towards the side of the object that is furthest away from the light source. Okay, let's look down at the cone. Cone, same idea. Again, this is a form that's got a rounded side to it, and then the bottom of it, the bottom of the cone is same as the cylinder. It's got a flat face to it. Okay, so when light is hitting the surface of a cone, the light is going to wrap around it a similar way to the cylinder or to the sphere. It's going to go from light and gradually to a darker shade. Okay, so here again, our clue to where the light source is coming from is A, the side where the highlight is. So we know that the light is probably coming this way. Okay, and we can confirm that because the cast shadow is in the opposite direction. Okay, so this area is being blocked of light because this thing is in the way. The light source must be coming from here, okay? So we have our highlight. The lightest part is the highlight. This middle gray part is your midtone. Okay, and then you're going to eventually go to your core shadow. Okay, and again, because it's a really dark photocopy, it's very hard to see, but the core shadow does loosen back up into a midtone back here, which is the reflected light. And remember, reflected light can be anywhere between a 0 or 2, okay? Meaning like it could actually be a shade of gray, but lighter than the core shadow. Okay, so we'll just use these as references for future illustrations. Whenever you look at something, say you're drawing a vase with flowers in it, or you're drawing a can of Coca-Cola, okay? Or you're drawing the bottom of someone's like dress, or you're drawing, I don't know, someone shooting a basketball, or you're even drawing a face. You can usually compare things in nature to geometric forms like this to kind of guess how light would wrap around them, especially with the cylinder. Like when you're drawing your superhero, say you're doing Wolverine, okay, and he's got like his bright yellow and blue costume on, and you're trying to figure out how to shade his legs, you might compare the way that light wraps around a cylinder to how light might wrap around his thighs and calves, or like his arms, right? Because our body parts mimic a cylinder, right? Your face would kind of compare to a sphere, right? Because your face is rounded, but then the elongated kind of curved parts of your body, like arms and legs or even a torso, you can kind of guess how to shade them in based on what you know about light wrapping around a geometric cylinder, okay? Okay, so now we're gonna move on and we're actually gonna try our practice drawings. And again, I gave you a reference sheet that I drew and I photocopied it in color so that you could see the variation of value a little bit more.